Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a world where women have long been taught to prioritize kindness, gentleness, and above all being nice. From a young age, society encourages women to suppress their desires, their anger, their assertiveness, and above all, their own needs. The problem is the definition of being nice often means putting others first at the expense of one's own happiness and well-being. Society has long placed immense pressure on women to conform to the ideal of being nice. From a young age, girls are encouraged to be sweet, polite, and accommodating. This societal expectation of niceness is often tied to the idea of being non-confrontational and easily agreeable, ensuring that women fit into predefined roles of warmth and compliance. While kindness and respect are fundamental virtues, the version of nice that society often demands from women can stifle their true selves, forcing them to suppress their authentic emotions, desires, and thoughts. The problem with this idea of nice is that it has become a mask that women are expected to wear. This mask can make women feel as if they must constantly manage the perceptions of others, to the point where their own needs, opinions, and individuality become secondary. In many cases, being nice means not rocking the boat, avoiding conflict, and never asserting one's own voice. Women are told, whether implicitly or explicitly, that if they want to be accepted, loved, and respected, they must fit into a mold of gentleness, softness, and perpetual understanding. The problem with this is that it often means silencing the parts of themselves that don't align with this narrow definition of what it means to be a woman. When women prioritize being nice over being authentic, they risk losing sight of their true identities. They may hide their talents, desires, and ambitions because they are concerned about being perceived as too assertive, aggressive, or selfish. The pressure to always be agreeable can leave them feeling trapped in roles that don't allow them to fully explore who they are, to take up space, or to pursue their passions. For example, a woman might downplay her success so as not to seem boastful or overly ambitious. She may suppress her frustration or anger in order to maintain the image of calm and composure that others expect. In doing so, she denies herself the right to express the full spectrum of her emotions, and in turn, she denies herself the opportunity to live authentically. Embracing your true personality, even when it doesn't fit society's narrow definition of nice, is crucial for personal growth and empowerment. Women deserve to be accepted for who they truly are, not for a version of themselves that conforms to the expectations of others. Authenticity means embracing the full range of human emotions, including anger, joy, frustration, and excitement. It means being comfortable with vulnerability and the freedom to speak up for oneself, even if that means challenging the status quo. When women embrace their true selves, they set a powerful example for others to do the same. Breaking free from the societal pressures of niceness allows women to fully engage with the world as they are, unapologetically, confidently, and authentically. In the end, being nice should never mean hiding who you really are. True kindness comes from a place of honesty, self-respect, and the courage to be yourself, no matter how it might look to others. Society has long placed immense pressure on women to conform to the ideal of being nice. From a young age, girls are encouraged to be sweet, polite, and accommodating. This societal expectation of niceness is often tied to the idea of being non-confrontational and easily agreeable, ensuring that women fit into predefined roles of warmth and compliance. While kindness and respect are fundamental virtues, the version of nice that society often demands from women can stifle their true selves, forcing them to suppress their authentic emotions, desires, and thoughts. The problem with this idea of nice is that it has become a mask that women are expected to wear. This mask can make women feel as if they must constantly manage the perceptions of others, to the point where their own needs, opinions, and individuality become secondary. In many cases, being nice means not rocking the boat, avoiding conflict, and never asserting one's own voice. Women are told, whether implicitly or explicitly, that if they want to be accepted, loved, and respected, they must fit into a mold of gentleness, softness, and perpetual understanding. The problem with this is that it often means silencing the parts of themselves that don't align with this narrow definition of what it means to be a woman. When women prioritize being nice over being authentic, they risk losing sight of their true identities. They may hide their talents, desires, and ambitions because they are concerned about being perceived as too assertive, aggressive, or selfish. The pressure to always be agreeable can leave them feeling trapped in roles that don't allow them to fully explore who they are, to take up space, or to pursue their passions. For example, a woman might downplay her success so as not to seem boastful or overly ambitious. She may suppress her frustration or anger in order to maintain the image of calm and composure that others expect. In doing so, she denies herself the right to express the full spectrum of her emotions, and in turn, she denies herself the opportunity to live authentically. Embracing your true personality, even when it doesn't fit society's narrow definition of nice, is crucial for personal growth and empowerment. Women deserve to be accepted for who they truly are, not for a version of themselves that conforms to the expectations of others. Authenticity means embracing the full range of human emotions, including anger, joy, frustration, and excitement. It means being comfortable with vulnerability and the freedom to speak up for oneself, even if that means challenging the status quo. When women embrace their true selves, they set a powerful example for others to do the same. Breaking free from the societal pressures of niceness allows women to fully engage with the world as they are, unapologetically, confidently, and authentically. In the end, being nice should never mean hiding who you really are. True kindness comes from a place of honesty, self-respect, and the courage to be yourself, no matter how it might look to others. People-pleasing is a behavior that many women in particular are socialized into from an early age. It's the idea that in order to be valued or loved, one must constantly put others' needs, desires, and expectations above their own. Whether it's saying yes to every request, agreeing with others even when it goes against personal values, or constantly being the one to help, people-pleasing can seem like an admirable quality in the moment. However, the long-term consequences of this behavior are often far from positive. The relentless pursuit of pleasing others at the expense of personal well-being ultimately leads to burnout, exhaustion, and a sense of self-neglect that can be difficult to overcome. At its core, people-pleasing is rooted in a fear of rejection or disapproval. Many people, especially women, are taught to value themselves based on their ability to meet the needs of others. However, constantly putting others first can leave little room for self-care, personal growth, or emotional health. When individuals prioritize the happiness and comfort of others, they are often left feeling drained, undervalued, and disconnected from their own desires. The more a person sacrifices their own needs, the more they risk losing their sense of identity. Over time, it becomes easier to ignore personal boundaries and harder to even recognize what they need or want from life. This can result in frustration, resentment, and a growing sense of emptiness. Burnout is an inevitable consequence of people-pleasing. The human capacity for giving is not limitless, and when you constantly give without taking the time to replenish yourself, it leads to emotional and physical exhaustion. Women, in particular, are often expected to be caregivers, nurturers, and the ones who keep everything together. This cultural expectation can make it even harder to say no, to set boundaries, or to prioritize personal well-being. The constant pressure to fulfill everyone else's expectations, whether it's at work, in relationships, or within a social circle, can lead to a cycle of overwork and depletion. Over time, this becomes unsustainable. People-pleasing also fosters an unhealthy dynamic in relationships. When one person is always giving and the other is always receiving, the balance of power becomes skewed. It can breed feelings of resentment and unfulfillment as the individual who is constantly sacrificing feels unseen and unappreciated. The need to please others can also lead to a lack of authenticity in relationships. People-pleasers may find themselves agreeing to things they don't truly want to do, simply to avoid conflict or disappointment. This results in a life that feels disconnected from personal values and desires. Fulfilling others' needs is important, but it should never come at the cost of one's own health and happiness. Learning to say no, setting boundaries, and prioritizing self-care are essential steps in breaking free from the cycle of people-pleasing. When women begin to put their own needs first, they reclaim their sense of self and create healthier, more balanced relationships. True fulfillment comes not from constantly appeasing others, but from living authentically and honoring both your own needs and the needs of those around you. It's time to recognize that you cannot pour from an empty cup, and by caring for yourself, you become better able to care for others in a meaningful, sustainable way. Assertiveness is a powerful tool that women must embrace in order to protect their own well-being, establish healthy boundaries, and ensure their voices are heard. For too long, many women have been taught to be accommodating, to go along with what others want, and to put the needs of others above their own. This mindset often leads to a deep sense of frustration, resentment, and eventually burnout. Assertiveness, on the other hand, is the practice of standing up for yourself, expressing your needs, and communicating your boundaries in a clear, confident, and respectful way. It is not about being aggressive or domineering. It is about asserting your right to prioritize your own happiness and well-being, without guilt or fear. Learning to say no without guilt is one of the most important aspects of assertiveness. Women are often conditioned to be people pleasers, feeling a strong sense of responsibility to make others happy, even at the expense of their own time, energy, and mental health. Saying no can be uncomfortable for many, especially when there is a fear of disappointing someone or facing rejection. However, it is crucial to understand that saying no is not a reflection of selfishness. It is a form of self-respect. When you say no, you are honoring your own needs and acknowledging that your time and energy are valuable. Assertiveness allows women to set clear boundaries with others, which is essential for maintaining healthy relationships. Boundaries are the invisible lines that protect your emotional and mental space. Without clear boundaries, it is easy for others to take advantage of you or for you to become overwhelmed by the demands of others. By being assertive, women can communicate what is acceptable and what is not without feeling guilty or apologetic. Establishing boundaries is not about being cold or distant. It is about teaching others how to treat you with respect and ensuring that your needs are met in a way that aligns with your values. Assertiveness also empowers women to express their thoughts, feelings, and desires without fear of judgment. Women are often socialized to remain quiet, to avoid conflict, and to defer to others in both personal and professional settings. This can lead to a lack of confidence and self-advocacy. However, when women learn to assert themselves, they take ownership of their voices and their power. They become more confident in their decisions, more comfortable in expressing their opinions, and more capable of pursuing their goals without fear of being dismissed or overlooked. Ultimately, assertiveness is not just about standing up for yourself in difficult situations. It is a mindset that empowers women to live authentically, respect themselves, and create the life they desire. It requires practice and self-awareness, but the rewards are immeasurable. When women embrace assertiveness, they take control of their own narratives, build healthier relationships, and cultivate a life that reflects their true worth. Assertiveness is not aggression. It is the strength to protect yourself, stand up for your values, and pursue your dreams unapologetically. Kindness is a virtue that has long been associated with women. From a young age, girls are taught to be considerate, caring, and generous toward others. In many ways, kindness is celebrated as an essential part of being a woman. However, there is a crucial distinction between being kind and accepting disrespect. Being kind does not mean tolerating mistreatment or compromising one's self-respect for the sake of others. It is essential that women understand that they deserve to receive the same level of kindness and respect that they so freely give to others. Too often, women are conditioned to prioritize the needs and comfort of others, even when it comes at the expense of their own well-being. They are encouraged to be understanding, patient, and accommodating, even when others are rude, inconsiderate, or dismissive. This type of self-sacrifice may be seen as virtuous by society, but it can easily lead to feelings of resentment and powerlessness. Women may become so accustomed to putting others first that they begin to tolerate behavior that is hurtful or disrespectful. This is not kindness, it is a form of self-neglect. True kindness is rooted in mutual respect. It means treating others with compassion and empathy while also demanding that the same consideration be extended to oneself. Women should not feel obligated to accept disrespectful behavior or mistreatment just because they are expected to be kind. It is not kind to allow others to belittle or undermine you. It is not kind to remain silent when your boundaries are crossed or when your dignity is compromised. Women must recognize that they have the right to stand up for themselves and assert their worth without feeling guilty. Demanding respect does not mean being harsh or unkind in return. It means calmly and confidently setting boundaries, expressing how you want to be treated, and holding others accountable for their actions. When women assert their needs and establish clear expectations for how they want to be treated, they are demonstrating self-respect and showing others how to treat them with dignity. It is important to remember that kindness is not a one-way street. It must be mutual for it to be genuine. If you are kind to others but constantly tolerate disrespect or mistreatment in return, the balance is disrupted and your kindness loses its true meaning. By demanding the same level of respect and kindness that they offer others, women can build healthier, more balanced relationships. They can teach others how to interact with them in a way that fosters understanding and appreciation. This creates an environment where both parties feel valued, heard, and respected. Furthermore, when women set boundaries and insist on being treated with kindness, they reinforce their own sense of worth and self-esteem. In doing so, they show that they are deserving of love, respect, and fairness, not because of what they do for others, but because they are human beings who deserve to be treated with dignity. For centuries, society has imposed rigid expectations on women, often dictating how they should behave, what roles they should fulfill, and how they should present themselves. One of the most pervasive and limiting gender norms is the expectation that women must be passive, quiet, and accommodating. These societal pressures encourage women to stay within the boundaries of traditional femininity, quiet, gentle, nurturing, and always putting others' needs first. While there is nothing wrong with these qualities in moderation, the constant expectation that women must embody them at all times stifles individuality, personal expression, and empowerment. It's time to disrupt these antiquated gender norms and encourage women to break free from the constraints that have held them back for far too long. Historically, women have been conditioned to remain silent, to defer to others, and to suppress their own desires in favor of others' comfort. In many cultures, women are taught that their opinions are less important, their voices are less valid, and their needs should always come second. These stereotypes are harmful not only to women, but to society as a whole. By teaching women to be passive and quiet, we perpetuate the idea that their contributions are less significant or worthy of attention. This results in the systematic silencing of women both in public and private spheres. From boardrooms to living rooms, women are often expected to take a back seat, allowing others, particularly men, to dominate conversations and decisions. The real danger of these gender norms is that they prevent women from fully embracing their power and potential. When women are expected to be passive, they internalize the belief that their opinions, ideas, and desires are secondary. This affects their ability to speak up in important situations, whether it's asking for a promotion, voicing their concerns in a relationship, or asserting their boundaries with friends and family. In doing so, they diminish their own agency and accept roles that are imposed upon them rather than creating lives that are authentically their own. It is time for women to challenge these antiquated norms and embrace their voices. Women should be encouraged to speak up, to express their desires, and to demand respect. It's time to redefine what it means to be feminine by celebrating qualities such as assertiveness, confidence, ambition, and boldness. These traits are not mutually exclusive with being nurturing or compassionate. They simply represent a broader range of human experiences that women should be allowed to embody. Challenging gender norms is not just about empowering women, it's about creating a more equal and dynamic society. When women speak up and step into their power, they inspire others to do the same. They break down barriers, challenge outdated traditions, and create spaces where all voices are heard and valued. Women can be strong and compassionate, ambitious and nurturing, assertive and caring. It's time to shatter the constraints of passive femininity and embrace the full spectrum of what it means to be a woman. By doing so, women will not only reclaim their rightful place in the world, they will also inspire future generations to embrace their own authentic selves, without fear of judgment or limitation. For too long, women have been taught to put others before themselves, to be selfless caregivers, and to consistently prioritize the needs of their families, friends, and colleagues. While caring for others is undoubtedly a noble and important quality, it should never come at the expense of one's own well-being. It is essential for women to recognize that taking care of themselves is not selfish. It is a necessary and empowering act that fosters better health, happiness, and fulfillment. Women have every right to prioritize their needs, health, and happiness without guilt or shame. In a society that often expects women to juggle multiple roles and responsibilities, whether it's as a mother, partner, employee, or friend, there is an underlying message that women must constantly give and sacrifice. This pressure can lead to burnout, exhaustion, and a deep sense of personal neglect. When women are expected to be everything to everyone, it becomes easy to lose sight of their own needs, desires, and personal goals. The result is that many women may feel resentful or overwhelmed, unsure of how to strike a balance between caring for others and caring for themselves. However, prioritizing yourself is essential for maintaining mental, emotional, and physical well-being. Self-care is not just about pampering yourself with a spa day or a night out, although these things can be beneficial. It is about setting boundaries, acknowledging your needs, and recognizing that you deserve time and space to recharge. When women fail to take care of themselves, they risk running on empty, unable to fully show up for others in the ways they want or need to. It's impossible to be a nurturing, loving, and supportive person to others when you are drained, unwell, or unhappy. By prioritizing self-care, women replenish their own energy, enabling them to be more present, effective, and engaged in their relationships and responsibilities. Taking care of yourself also means giving yourself permission to say no without feeling guilty. It means allowing yourself to rest when needed, seeking help when necessary, and making time for activities that bring you joy and fulfillment. It's about recognizing that your needs are just as important as anyone else's and that you have the right to honor them. When women embrace this mindset, they break free from the toxic notion that their worth is tied to how much they can give to others. Prioritizing yourself is not an act of selfishness, but rather a necessary step towards self-respect and Moreover, when women prioritize their own happiness and health, they set a powerful example for those around them. They demonstrate that it's okay to take up space, to be unapologetic about self-care, and to value their own well-being. By doing so, they encourage others to do the same. Prioritizing yourself doesn't mean neglecting or abandoning others. It means filling your own cup so that you can pour from a place of abundance rather than depletion. In the end, women have the right to prioritize their needs, health, and happiness, and in doing so, they create a healthier, more balanced life for themselves and those they care about. Learning to say no is one of the most powerful tools that women can embrace to protect their time, energy, and emotional well-being. For many women, saying no can feel uncomfortable, even guilt-inducing, as society often encourages them to be accommodating, helpful, and always available. Women are often taught to prioritize others' needs over their own, and as a result, they may feel obligated to say yes to every request, even when it stretches them too thin or causes emotional exhaustion. However, the ability to say no is not only essential for self-care, it is a profound act of self-respect and an assertion of personal boundaries. Saying no is a form of self-preservation. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't align with your values, needs, or priorities, you are depleting your energy and resources. You may feel as though you are being helpful or supportive in the short term, but over time, constantly putting others first can lead to burnout, resentment, and a sense of being unappreciated. By learning to say no, you are acknowledging that your time, energy, and emotional well-being are valuable and deserve to be protected. It's a way of asserting that you cannot be everything to everyone and that taking care of yourself is just as important as helping others. For many women, saying no comes with a heavy dose of guilt. There is a fear that saying no will disappoint others, lead to conflict, or result in feelings of rejection. However, it's crucial to understand that saying no is not an act of selfishness, it is an act of self-respect. You are not responsible for meeting everyone's expectations or solving everyone's problems. Saying no is a way to preserve your own well-being, and it helps you create space for what truly matters to you. It allows you to focus on your priorities, whether that's your career, your personal health, or your family. Moreover, learning to say no teaches others to respect your boundaries. When you consistently say yes to everything, you are sending the message that your time and energy are unlimited. However, by saying no when necessary, you communicate that your resources are finite and that you have the right to choose how to allocate them. Saying no doesn't have to be harsh or confrontational. It can be done with kindness and clarity, without the need for over-explanation or apology. You can simply state your reasons without feeling the need to justify yourself or seek approval. Over time, saying no without apology becomes a practice in self-empowerment. It reinforces the idea that your needs are valid and that you deserve to prioritize yourself. By setting boundaries and saying no when appropriate, you will feel more in control of your life, more at peace with your decisions, and more confident in your ability to manage your time and energy. In the end, learning to say no is not only essential for your own well-being, but it also empowers you to live a more authentic and fulfilling life, one in which your choices are driven by your values and desires, not by the fear of disappointing others. In conclusion, the societal pressures placed on women to conform to roles of niceness, selflessness, and passivity limit their true potential and happiness. Women are more than just daughters, mothers, wives, or caregivers. They are individuals with their own ambitions, desires, and identities. Embracing the power of saying no Challenging outdated gender norms and prioritizing self-care are essential steps toward living authentically and achieving personal fulfillment. Being kind should never mean tolerating disrespect or suppressing your true self. Women have the right to pursue their goals, speak their truths, and assert their boundaries without guilt. By breaking free from the constraints of traditional expectations, women can step into their power, live boldly, and redefine what it means to be a woman in today's world. It's time to stop being nice in the traditional sense and start being true to ourselves. So, I urge you, stop being nice. Not because kindness is bad, but because it's time to redefine kindness. Let's embrace kindness that starts with us, that respects our own worth, and allows us to be assertive, confident, and unapologetically ourselves. Thank you.